Thank you, Tom. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship at Stony Brook. My name is Laura Lesh, and yes, I know what you might be thinking today about my name. I always thought it would be so cool to have a hurricane given the same name as mine, but now that it's happened, and we've seen all that destructive power of nature unleashed, I must tell you that right now, I wish I had a different name. The storm we recently weathered here was bad enough, so I shudder to think what those folks in Louisiana and eastern Texas are facing. I know all our hearts are with those who have been affected by that awful hurricane. Nevertheless, I am just delighted to be serving as the worship associate today with our minister, Margie Allen, who is back home after her spring sabbatical and her summer study leave. Last week, we heard about some of her experiences over the summer, and I know there's a lot more in store for us. This year, summer brought us a stable COVID curve and a cleaner environment as we have needed to curtail so many of our usual activities to be safe. Now fall will bring us not only cooler air and shorter days, but the uncertainties of the pandemic and the election of our lives. However, we will have each other to see us through. Our Director of Religious Education is Deb Little. After Labor Day weekend, which is our final service of the summer, we will be having our annual homecoming service to begin our next worship year on September 13th. This will be an intergenerational service with some great surprises for our youth and all who are young at heart. Religious education classes will resume the following week on September 20th. A very special welcome goes out to any of you who are here with us for the first time or just visiting. Unitarian Universalism is a free religion, emphasizing deed, not creed. We here are all seekers of truth, united by our 7 principles and our 6 sources, which you will find listed on our website at UUFSB.org. We welcome people of all ages, faith backgrounds, colors, genders, nationalities, abilities, and preferences. We bring our burdens and our blessings, each of us, and we each have something to offer. Our services vary greatly from week to week, and I hope you will return often to get a true sense of who we are as a community of faith. Please stay following our service today for a general meet and greet virtual coffee hour with the others in attendance, and then leave this Zoom meeting and go to the small chats using the link in yesterday's special news feed or on our website, where you will meet with a few others and be able to ask any questions you might have. We're truly happy to have you here, and we look forward to getting to know you.
Good morning, my loves. As I sound our bell for this morning, I invite you to tune yourself to her bright, slow fading song, her invitation to our worship together this morning.
As Dave and I light our chalice here, please go ahead and light one of yours as I say these words from Jamie A. Yandell, remembering yet another tragic, brutal police shooting this past week of a young Black man, Jacob Blake, and the subsequent vicious shooting of 3 protesters. The sacred power of justice. We light this flame to ignite the sacred power of justice. We light this flame so that it may be a beacon of hope in moments of uncertainty, fear, anxiety, and the unknown. We light this flame and are emboldened by its blaze, knowing our strength as a prophetic and powerful people is rooted in the diverse ways we answer the call to love.
Our opening words this morning offer you your first glimpse of the substance of our title theme, Your Mourning Pony, in a poem about loneliness and love and the powers of friendship. Following the poem, I invite you to sing or read or dance or hum along as Bethany introduces us to what I think might be a new hymn for us, number 135, How Happy Are They? She'll give us a short intro to the hymn before we join across this virtual space in singing. Here's James Wright's poem, A Blessing. Just off the highway to Rochester, Minnesota, twilight bounds softly forth on the grass, and the eyes of those 2 ponies, those 2 Indian ponies, darken with kindness. They have come gladly out of the willows to welcome my friend and me. We step over the barbed wire into the pasture where they have been grazing all day alone. They ripple tensely. They can hardly contain their happiness that we have come. They bow shyly as wet swans. They love each other. There is no loneliness like theirs. At home, once more, they begin munching the young tufts of spring in the darkness. I would like to hold the slenderer one in my arms, for she has walked over to me and nuzzled my left hand. She is black and white. Her mane falls wild on her forehead, and the light breeze moves me to caress her long ear that is delicate as the skin over a girl's wrist. Suddenly, I realize that if I stepped out of my body, I would break into blossom. Come join me now for a moment of reflection, meditation, prayer, a few words to travel with into shared silence, and then a song, Spirit of Life. This is the message the hymn we've just sung delivers to me. Freed from both the hopes and the fears that those who seek to control us for their own benefit may leverage in order to manipulate us, we find that we have all we need to live simply and well, true to our own hearts. This is a hymn in praise of the human ability to reason, such a Unitarian idea. But right now, it's a life-saving idea. It reminds us that in order to reason well, to make good choices in crazy-making times, we must be able to identify, interpret, and manage our feelings. Can you remember a time or times when someone helped you sort out the swirl of feelings and think through a problem or a choice you were confronting, helped you calm down and focus perhaps on something frightening or overwhelming that nevertheless had to be done? As we ready ourselves to enter into our time of shared silence, perhaps this photograph of two lovely friends will surface some memories of some of your own who have stood with you and by you over the years in troubled times, head to head, nose to nose, heart to heart. Let us join now in the peace of quiet contemplation. Long ago, a little detail that I read about racehorses lodged itself in my brain and has proved useful to me from time to time over the years. I've had very little to do with horses in my life. My sister, 5 years younger than I, was the one who was able to take riding lessons, and I was jealous. But on the campus where I grew up, we did have the run of the barns where the students' horses were sheltered during the academic year. And we visited, and we'd crash the periodic horse shows, enjoying the jumping and the dressage and the cross country. I'm a longtime fan of the species. I've never been to a racetrack and am very aware of the dark side of racing for both human beings and their steeds. Track racing can be a brutal sport. There have been terrible tragedies and terrible abuses. And yet, how beautiful is a horse running? Her heart, her muscled, lean body, his drive, the relationship between the rider and the animal, and the drama of the critical race. Racing thoroughbreds are very high-strung animals to start with. They're bred that way. They want to run. The rigors of the track are tough, and the schooling that the animals go through never stops through their short careers at the track. They have to learn to be able to tolerate not just the push to run fast amid other flying bodies, but also the airplane flights between gigs, the walk past the loud, visually alarming action in the stands on the way to the starting gate, the clanking and confinement and infectious anxiety there at the gate, the adoration of the crowd at the end of a winning race. It's a lot to go through day after day after day in all kinds of conditions. But most racehorses are afforded the comfort and companionship of a morning pony. They're also called track ponies or companion ponies or lead ponies or just ponies, depending on what portion of the larger role they take on. Their core job is to steady the racehorse, calm him down, to ground her, to keep him focused on the race to come. Track ponies themselves are often retrained, retired racehorses or working quarter horses that are trained to do this work, chosen both for their steady natures and their friendliness and their ability to nuzzle and bump and gently discipline their charges as they walk or run beside them during their schooling walks to the gates or training runs around the track. And morning ponies are also often chosen for their good looks because they're able that way to draw attention to the racehorse at their side. In fact, in that public gaze, they sometimes become more famous than the racehorse they accompany. Let's look at a few pictures. Here's one of the famous racehorse Seabiscuit on the left in the photo you'll see, who smashed all kinds of records back in the 40s. You may have seen the Academy Award nominated 2003 movie about his unlikely career. Greeting Seabiscuit here is his companion pony, Pumpkin, a Palomino gelding, a former Montana cow pony, whose job it was to calm the nerves of this notoriously cantankerous and anxious equine star. Pumpkin's attention, presence, and friendship made Seabiscuit's success possible. From the moment their stalls were joined as one, they faced each challenge as lifelong and devoted pals. And here's Justify on the left, and his little buddy, Sonny, sharing a meal before departure to Baltimore for the Preakness. Sonny, a particularly handsome, burnished Palomino with a famous flowing, long blonde mane and a bit of a quarter horse swagger, looks tiny next to the racehorse. He's small, but mighty, his trainer says. He kept Justify in line. And finally, meet Harley with his fractious 2-year-old charge freaking out right in front of him. Harley's a massive horse, son of a Leopard Appaloosa sire and a Percheron Belgian mixed dam. And he serves as a famously unflappable rent-a-pony based at the Keeneland track. Look at the awesome job he's doing. His solid stance, eye to eye with the other horse's fear, and fearless himself. So here's the question of the day. Who are your morning ponies? When you were feeling like that young thoroughbred reared up and angry or scared or confused, who stands by you, solid and wise, holding your lead, modeling calm? Who do you go to when you are flooded with the horrors of the news, or the impact of the shoe that just dropped, or the prospect of a challenge ahead? Who helps you sort it out? It could be one person, could be a person in each realm of your life, at work, at home, your touchstones, people you can count on to be there, to listen without joining you in your feelings, to help you name them, discover their source, affirm them, and set them aside in time so that you can see the situation more clearly and formulate a response. Be reasonable. Perhaps that person is sometimes your spouse or partner, but it can't be only them. You have to have a community, you have to have a circle. Who do you go to when your partner is also caught up in it, or has his or her own issues that are up front for them? We all need a little stable of morning ponies. I am a professional morning pony. All of the therapists out there listening to me and beyond are also morning ponies. Dogs and other animals can also serve, even though they do it through the only language we share with them, body language. Their presence can clear a space for you to do the work of naming and interpreting your feelings and getting to the root of what you need. And God is the ultimate morning pony for those who do this work in prayer. But God has also been known to send you a friend to partner with you for now or for life. God is a delegator. She's smart that way. I don't think I have ever been as prone as I am right now to freaking out. Usually in the morning as I read the news, but sometimes also in the evenings when the day has exhausted me and the accumulated feelings are swirling around, and the day ahead that my head is full of has its own challenges in store. For most of us here in this ungodly and unpredictable space between normals, with our government in turmoil, society going another round with racism, shootings, all these hurricanes, and a ferocious plague drawing an opaque curtain over our vision of the future. A morning pony can be a lifesaver. Name yours to yourself right now. And when you can, talk to them about the role. They may not even know they're playing it. They may not even know they're playing it well. And practice the art yourself. And meanwhile, remember that every little bit of love dispersed counts toward ponying the world itself. So in closing, a poem that names some of the most fleeting gestures of support we humans can offer, for all of their brevity between us. How much interactions like these can change a septic flood of a day into a moment of blossoming. Here's Small Kindnesses by Danusha Lamaris. I've been thinking about the way when you walk down a crowded aisle, people pull in their legs to let you by. Or strangers still say, "Bless you," when someone sneezes, a leftover from the bubonic plague. Don't die, we're saying. And sometimes when you spill lemons from your grocery bag, someone else will help you pick them up. Mostly, we don't want to harm each other. We want to be handed our cup of coffee hot and to say thank you to the person handing it, to smile at them and for them to smile back, for the waitress to call us honey when she sets down the bowl of clam chowder, and for the driver of the red pickup truck to let us pass. We have so little of each other now, so far from tribe and fire, only these brief moments of exchange. What if they are the true dwelling of the holy? These fleeting temples we make together when we say, "Here, have my seat. Go ahead, you first. I like your hat." Amen.
Wow. Thank you, Margie. Taking a collection during each service, which we share with an organization working for social justice, is a spiritual practice of generosity. The circumstances caused by the COVID pandemic, have put many Long Islanders in a condition of food insecurity. In response, our Social Action Committee has chosen to focus on this problem for the entire summer and offer our support to the Island Harvest Food Pantry. 80% of your donations will go to this essential local organization, and 20% will go to our own members who are in need. So if you have not yet made a gift this summer, now is the best time to do that. And if you have and you're able to make another, please give today. During this time, while we are unable to be together in person, also remember to please continue to send in your pledge payments. Details on options for making your donations are being shown on your screen and can be found in yesterday's special news feed and on our website. Don't forget to indicate with any donation how you want it to be used. Thank you for your support and all the many ways you each give and serve. Together, we really do make a difference. As you make your donation now, enjoy Tom's gift to us of his music, Sleep Again.
Slow, slow, my brother, you will sleep again. Long, long, when it passes, you will breathe again. Snow falls on and on, and it passes. Time, in good time, you will live again. Hold on, when it passes, you will be again. Long, long, on and on, carefree and downstream, you will sleep again. You will be again. You will live again. And all you'll be, and all that's gone, is leading you on and on, and on. you will sleep again. Slow, slow, my brother, you will sleep again.
Thank you, Tom. Last week, I named the bigger cycle and systems of the natural world as a stabilizer for us in stressful times. When breathing and sleeping, even just living, are so troubled, such a challenge. William Safford reminds us how that works. I like to live in the sound of water, in the feel of mountain air. A sharp reminder hits me. This world still is alive. It stretches out there, shivering toward its own creation, and I am a part of it. Even my breathing enters into the elaborate give and take, this bowing to sun and moon, day or night, winter, summer, storm, still. This tranquil chaos that seems to be going somewhere. The wilderness with a great peacefulness in it, this motionless turmoil, this everything dance. The idea of the morning pony is the other half of the formula. We need both to keep ourselves grounded these days. The stars in the night sky and the lake in which we can float weightless, and the mountain path and the view and the tall trees flexing in the wind. And we need the people who can be our morning ponies on the days when we are helplessly pacing in our stalls or rearing in the track. And there will be times, no matter how much you grow toward the steadiness our first hymn named, and how much you learn to steady others as they grapple with their feelings and their needs, there will be times when you will need a grounded friend to come up next to you and take your hand. It's kind of like a dance. Sometimes you lead, sometimes you follow. Our closing hymn is number 311 in our hymn book, Let It Be a Dance We Do. And by the way, in that last verse, the editors of Singing the Living Tradition spelled an important word wrong. Rick Maston, who wrote the song, let it be known that he meant the word bear to be spelled bear, B-A-R-E, not bear, B-E-A-R. It's important that we name, think, and talk about our strong feelings. In bearing them to others, B-A-R-E, we will be able to bear them, B-E-A-R, but not the other way around. We'll be able to bear them, B-E-A-R, interpret and accept them with greater equanimity, and face the day with all our strength mustered for the race. Let it be a dance we do.
As we extinguish our flames, I offer these words from Elizabeth Sell Jones. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
In benediction, this reminder from our late beloved Maya Angelou, an excerpt from her poem On the Pulse of Morning, written for the first inauguration of Bill Clinton in 1993. Lift up your hearts. Each new hour holds new chances for new beginnings. Here on the pulse of this new day, you may have the grace to look up and out into your sister's eyes, into your brother's face, your country, and say simply, very simply, with hope, good morning.